Hey guys, it's Mia here, and welcome to a wrong screen. Wrong screen, hold on. Welcome to a just chatting stream. I do have music playing in the background just for myself because I would get copyright claimed to hell and back if I played the music I'm listening to. But the reason for this just chatting stream is because A, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to play Tomb Raider or Mass Effect today. Plus, um, I ended up hyperfixating on fixing my D&D notes because of our D&D session last night. And on top of that, to play D&D, I stayed up till damn near 5 in the morning and woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm a bit tired and not really in the mood to play games. I have 2 drinks sitting here, 1 water, and 1 body armor. This is a drink my brother introduced me to. He brought some home from work one day and he had me try it. These are really good, and there is it's pure good stuff for you, vitamins, minerals. It's no bullshit, none of that. I'm not sponsored by them by any means. I just like the drink, but if you're looking for a tasty juice or drink that is not that many calories, I recommend these. But I have those too. But yeah, like I said, I got up at 8 o'clock this morning, had coffee, sat down on my computer. I was planning to set up the live stream and get that rolling because I usually set those up in the morning so you guys know that they're coming. But my brain went, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna sit here and organize my D&D notes because we do it through Discord and all of my notes were just jumbled bulletin points. So what I did was I took the notes and condensed them into sessions and into actual story. And then I took my little theorizing because our DM is insane with the lore and makes us work to know it. So I went back and was like, I'm just going to put like a puzzling it out thread in Discord to where I can work on trying to figure out what the heck is he's got up his sleeve as I'm writing out notes. And if you haven't heard me talk about our Dungeons and Dragons campaign so far, one of my friends, Nick, after playing our first ever campaign together with Luke, which is also a podcast on my channel if you would like to watch it, it does fizzle out in season 2 and doesn't continue, so you will be left on a cliffhanger, so fair warning there. But Nick got into it way harder than anybody thought that he would. And he's like, I want to DM. I want to write the story. And he's writing this story from full outside the brain, no book outside of like dice rolls and stuff. And it's insanely good. And there's so much intrigue, so much mystery. There's something on my shirt. I got it. But it starts out, he had us make 3 dummy characters. Don't even remember their names. I remember mine because she was a character I tried to use in another campaign, but it's all that really matters in the end. Sorry, distracted. But our it starts out those 3 dummy characters that we made ended up going to like this shrine somewhere, and there's a pentagram in the middle of the floor with like something you would place a staff in. So my character's like, yo, dummies, do not stick that staff in there. That does not look like a good idea. Well, the other 2 were like, screw it, let's do it. And even though she tried to stop them, she was not successful in doing so. And they released Lucifer himself. And I'm not talking Lucifer from the Bible, Lucifer. I'm talking like Lucifer, the god of light. Because this world is full of gods. You have Hanako, the god of spirit. You have Lucifer, the god of light. Um, there's so many. I'm not gonna name them all. I'm not good with names. And Bartholomew, his previous character in our first campaign, ends up making a reappearance as the new god of storms. But the story goes, because of the events of the three throwaway characters that we started with, our characters are in like college. We start out 17 years old in a college called Starlight Academy. And everything's fine, dandy. We have one of us is the adopted son of the storm god, and that's Josh's character. I almost called him Cassius. Josh's character Sarathu. Then one of us is devoted to Hanako, and that's Cameron's character Wolvor. One of us is devoted to Lucifer and a complete psycho, and that's Jason's character Keyleth. And then there's my character Yuki, who is devoted to no one. She doesn't follow the god. She doesn't want to. She does her own thing. And so this school is all about like combat and like things that you would need to survive in a magical world. And her mom and dad are both teachers. Her mom's kind of the hard-headed combat teacher, where her dad is like the dragonology herbalist type laid-back character. So one night, she's woke up in the middle of the night by her dad banging on her door, and he's like, "Yo, you guys gotta go. Wake up your friends, get whatever you can get, and get the heck out of here, because the school is under attack." So as the school is under attack, our like my character's like, "Guys, we gotta get the hell out of here," and everything's exploding. People are dying. Um, People are being turned into light, and my dad leads us down one of the hallways of the school and is like, "You need to take this," and holds out like a hilt made of fire, like just a sword hilt. No blade, no nothing. And she's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" He goes, "You need to take it and keep it safe." And as he's talking to her, a blade just comes through the back of his head right out his mouth, and he just dies right in front of her. So she watched her dad die, and she's ready to fight, like ready to fight these soldiers that are coming in droves. But her mom jumps in and is like, "No, get out of here. Take your friends and go." So the four of us escape out one of the higher levels of the school. And luckily for me, I'm a druid, so I just transform in a hawk and fly down. One of us is a human that can wield ice magic, so he just creates like a slide, and the other three ride it down. And that's when we're teleported out by an elf. None of us have time to ask who she is, why she is helping us. We've never seen her around school. She just teleports us out of the school, and none of us question it. We're just like, we don't have time for this shit. Lucifer's right behind us. Run! But she teleports us to this forest where my character Yuki ends up having these dreams. And it's like, it's just a chair at first, like a big red chair. But as she keeps having the dreams, she gets more and more details. Like in front of the chair is a fireplace, and in a chair is someone sitting there. And what we go through with her still having these dreams in the background, we get to this one town, and it's real creepy, like real dreary. Like no kids anywhere, and no matter who all four of us tried to talk to, we got a and it just walked away. And we're like, what is with these people? And why on earth are there no kids here? This is the weirdest village we've ever been to. Well, it turned out, after some snooping from my character in hawk form going stealth mode, she finds a cellar in this old abandoned like stronghold. She goes and gets the rest of her team and is like, "Guys, there's something down here. It's there's something, I know it is." And so we all break the cellar open, go down, and there's like this laboratory with with kids, with young adults, all strapped to like hospital tables with IVs and stuff coming out of them, and their magic was being siphoned. And that's when we get caught by the town mayor, who was the one behind it. And we almost got eaten by a giant ass worm that he kept for security. But luckily, Woolbor ends up uh, devoting to promise to protect and destroy all monsters and protect his friends. So he got us out of there. So we leave that whole scenario after meeting the weirdest bard with a black rose tattoo. And that's not going to be the first time our characters see black roses either. It's going to get them in trouble quite a few times. But we keep going, and we end up being told that we need to visit Bartholomew, the current god of storms. I'm leaving some stuff out to save brevity and time, but I do have it in my notes that would make things easier. So after like stopping um, the crazy mayor, we are then told that our best bet would be to go see Bartholomew and get help from his army against Lucifer, who is actively pursuing us because my character now has possession of his godly weapon, the hilt of the Lightbringer, which is a fire sword. So we have that going on. We go and see Bartholomew only to find out that he has a Shadow Knight, which is one of Lucifer's strongest warriors, in his castle. And it's not just any Shadow Knight, it's Wulbor's mom and the one responsible for killing my character's dad, for killing Yuki's dad. So she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You need to leave. But she doesn't want to cause trouble in Bartholomew's castle or for Bartholomew because he's one of the only gods that seems to be on our side. But he tells my character, we never found your mom's body. We never found her. So she could be perfectly fine. So that's at least a little bit of hope. So after talking with Bartholomew to try and get his help with the whole situation and hoping that he can give us his army, we end up leaving. And he says we need to take care of something for him because there's this forest that has been dead and dying in his domain. And he doesn't like that very much. So we go there, and it's just dead all around, just creepy and silent and just empty. It's like something out of Slenderman finding the pages. But we end up getting there. We fight this weird grunge-looking spider demon woman. If you've ever seen the movie The Grudge, you know what I'm talking about. I've never seen that movie, but I have seen the monster. We kill it, and then this cult appears. And they look at one of our characters, they look at Sarathu and go, join us. And before any of us can say anything, or before Sarathu can reply, they slit their own throats, all dying. And it turns out they were sacrificing themselves to a Wendigo, which then shows up, takes all of the bodies away into the shadows, and just attacks our characters. And our DM let it accidentally slip that the Wendigo was like the dark side of the god of dreams, who was Isaac. So he didn't mean to let that part slip because he was like, oh fuck, I should have told you that. But he did. But even still, even though he accidentally revealed that before he was ready to, if he was even planning to, our reactions to that didn't disappoint. Because we were like, what the fuck? What do you mean? But We then eventually find a cabin, and as we go in the cabin, Yuki's like, holy shit, I've been here so many times before. Because it was the same exact room that she had been seeing over and over again in her dreams. The same room, like brick room, with the chair and the fireplace. And the same man she saw in her dreams was sitting in the chair. So she's like, why in the hell have I been dreaming about you ever since I got my hands on this? But Isaac, who was the one trapped in this cabin, is like, I don't know who you are. And she's like, what do you mean I don't know who you are? How am I seeing you in my dreams? So as we're talking to him, he just gets stabbed out of nowhere. And this like knight clad in black and blue armor with the mark of a rose is there. And we think he's going to turn on us, but um, a gargoyle who we had previously talked to and who Sarathu is sort of related to because he's his adopted brother technically because he's the son of Bartholomew the storm god. He comes to save us and gets killed in the process. Only for then Bartholomew himself to show up, too late to help, like the soldier disappeared. But he then tells Yuki, look, I know you have the hilt. I know you have it. So let's cut the shit and just give it to me. She tries to go away, but he just poofs her right back to him. And despite her anger at feeling betrayed, because she was told that he was supposed to help them, um, he tells her to trust him and give him the hilt. And she reluctantly gives him the hilt over. And the only reason she was reluctant to give anyone possession of this hilt is because her dad died to protect it and to keep it out of Lucifer's hands. So she feels it was her responsibility to carry that burden and keep it away from Lucifer too. But wanting to trust him, he gives it to her and he says, I'll give it back to you when you come to the ball. Because there was this ball that's going to happen for our characters, and all of the gods and goddesses are going to be at this ball. And we're supposed to be in attendance because it's a good shot for us to get at Lucifer. So he then takes us to this town where we meet a ship captain named Cassius. And we spend 7 months on his ship, both learning how to sail a ship, learning how like to better our combat, and just living on this ship for 7 months. But one, and then he ends up teleporting us to a lighthouse, which ends up being God of Time's house. And we find notes that he has been keeping an eye and taking notes on Isaac as he's trapped in this cabin in like these dark, desolate woods. And our characters are like, what the fuck? Why would he be like watching him? And why would he keep him trapped in these woods? Because it wasn't good. So then we gather what information we can and leave the the lighthouse. But before we do, we find the God of Time's body just laying there, as well as this like weird gauntlet. It's just like a gauntlet. It's all metal and pointy and weird, and none of us know what it does because when we put it on, nothing happens. But clearly, something about it is important because why would a god have it if it wasn't? So we're in the middle of finishing up like looting this place and trying to find what information we can because this is a god's house and we're fighting gods. So that's when a big explosion happens. And it turns out Somehow, uh, Lucifer's army, or bandits or pirates, I'm not sure which, knew that we were in Time's Tower and started shooting cannonballs at it from the sea. So we had to leave. Luckily, we were able to teleport out, but before we could get fully out, two ships emerged from the water in front of us. And we're like, uh-oh. But Cassius is like, give me the gauntlet. Give it to me. So we do, and he just uses it like it's no big deal. Honestly, maybe he's the new time god, because how was he able to use that so well? And when we asked him what he did with the gauntlet, he's like, I put it away for safekeeping. And we're like, thanks. We kind of need to know where that is, because that's an important item. But yeah, be cavalier about it. And I just realized he was the only one that knew where it was, and he's no longer breathing. So, that might be a problem. But that's for later. Barring that, uh, we end up going to another town, and my character gets armor because I'm squishy as shit because I'm a druid. So I'm like, I need something to buff up my armor class. And the armor can even shift with my character's transformations. If I want to be a lioness, I'm a badass lioness with golden armor. How cool is that? So when we get to this town, we end up getting split up. Keyleth um, ends up going to complete a bounty that was given to him by the woman that made our weapons and armor. Sarathu was taken by Cassius, the one who we spent 7 months on the ship with, because apparently Sarathu is sick, like really sick, and he's been keeping it from all of our characters. So my character doesn't know this, and none of our characters do, but he does. So Cassius takes him to a blood witch to try and help. And then Wilbur, Turtle Boy, ends up going to an illegal fighting ring that Cassius accidentally spilled was in town, while Yuki ends up seeing a cloaked woman. And it wasn't the first time she's seen this woman either. So she decides to follow her because she wants answers. She's like, is it my mom who I was told could have survived the attack on the school and she's just not ready to tell me she's okay? Who is this woman? Why is she following me? So it turns out this woman was a vampire queen, and she has one of the village women held hostage with 4 guards on top of that. And I'm like, well, this isn't good. So my character's like, let this girl go. And the vampire queen goes, I've been watching you. I've been watching you. And I like your style. She goes, I don't give a damn if you like my style. Let that girl go and let us leave. And she goes, no, I want you to join us. And she goes, I don't think I will. I don't think I will. So when Yuki refuses to join the vampire queen, one of her guards ends up burning the hostage. And Yuki's like, okay, okay, okay. Let's not play it this way. It doesn't have to be this way. I don't have a problem with vampires. As long as you're not hurting anyone or threatening me. Just let us go and it can be handled peacefully. Well, let's just say it wasn't handled peacefully. The guard ended up doing more damage to the girl, so my character's like Misty stepped behind him and shoved him away, to which all of the other 3 vampires kind of converged on her and just pinned her down. And this was kind of a cutscene moment for us. And hi, Furion. The DM made it to where we couldn't have fought back. I couldn't have fought back even if I wanted to. So I was stuck. So here she is, trapped by 3 different vampires and a vampire queen, no less, only to then get bitten. And now, enraged by the fact that she had been bitten, and now this vampire queen is torturing this poor girl, literally burning the side of her face, she just loses it. And because she decided to devote herself to Lucifer to be able to use the sword and his power against him, despite hating his guts, she loses control of that power. And the flames that she used to wield went from normal flames to purple flames. And she ended up disintegrating the vampire queen, but was unable to save the girl. So that's two people now she's watched die right in front of her, not including all the enemies that attacked first that she was forced to kill. In the sidelines, the other three, Keyleth completes his bounty, Wilbur ends up winning the fighting tournament, and Sarathu, I have such a hard time with Sarathu, I don't know why. I want to call him, I want to call Sarathu, I'm blanking on his name now. Goodness gracious. I want to call Sarathu Josh's previous character's name because we were with that character for so long. Clarion. I want to call him Clarion all the time because that's the character that he played for the longest. So my brain goes, Josh, Clarion. Nope. I really wish I could play with you guys, but my characters tend to be smart asses and even might tick off the DM. Nick can handle a smart ass. But Sarathu ends up getting his throat slit out of nowhere. That was another one that got us all yelling at the DM, like, what the fuck? He gets his throat slit out of nowhere, and his blood goes from like normal blood to like blackish blood, kind of like how Venom looks from Spider-Man. He looks like that. And he's fine, perfectly fine. Like, he died and came back because of the Blood Witch, and now he has the ability to turn his blood into a weapon. But none of us know that because Josh was the only one that didn't share with the rest of us what his character did. So Sarathu didn't tell any of the rest of our characters what happened, so none of us know. So it's up in the air what's going on or what happened to Sarathu, as well as is Yuki gonna turn into a vampire because she has been bitten by a vampire queen? And when it's revealed to her that she does have venom in her veins and she is turning by Wilbur, who has spirit magic, he can't heal it. And neither can my character's pet dragon, Celeste. I did not give Celeste that name on purpose. Turns out it was a name that Josh had picked for another one of the gods, or that Nick had picked for another one of the gods. I did not do that on purpose. I didn't even think about it. I was like, she's an angel dragon. I want to name her Celeste. And Josh or Nick was like, "Did you do that on purpose?" And I was like, "No, nah." It was just a happy coincidence. But so that all happened, and after that craziness, we meet back up again because Cassius kind of found all of us and took us to the tavern in the town and was like, "Okay, recover and then pick out your clothes for the ball." And we're all like, "We don't have money to pay for this stuff." And he goes, "Don't worry about it, it's on my tab." So he paid for everything. And uh, when we get everything and get everything situated, my character ends up going to bed and disappearing for a while. And she wakes up in a forest where um, Lucifer was there in her dreams again. And he ends up trying to get the hilt of the sword through her dreams. And he's pushing her to devote to him, like fully, like give in. And she's like, "No." But he didn't get the hilt. So after getting ready for the ball and getting all our stuff and coming back together, um, ships end up coming out of nowhere, like hundreds of ships surrounding the town. And it turns out to be, once again, Lucifer's army, with one of his commanding officers at the helm. My character's like, can I fight them? I want to turn into like my flaming hawk form and fight them. And everybody's like, no, no, we gotta leave. So we end up leaving because there's nothing we can do. Like if we die there, we won't be able to stop Lucifer at all. It was kind of a we have to let this situation happen because if we die here, it's not going to get better anyway. So, do we take do we try to stop them now and get killed in the process or get to a position where we're better off fighting them and might have a chance at actually winning? So that's what we did. We left the town to mainly Yuki's reluctance and we end up splitting off from Cassius, who wanted to go do something before we left. And he tells us to meet him at the gate of the city, but when we get there, he's not there. And we're like, okay, this isn't good. So we finally find him. And when we find him, we see him at a grave. And it turns out to be his daughter's grave. He doesn't tell us what happened to her, and none of us like pry into it. And when he asks us to leave, we leave. And then we end up going to on our way to go to the direction of the ball in a different town. And we're all setting up camp and for the night and we all fall asleep. And we have like this collective dream. And we see a man walking and all of a sudden dragons come out of nowhere and just start tearing into the town. And he watches a girl die. And the dream just loops for a while. Just keeps looping. I still say unalived on purpose to obliterate Lucifer's army from hell himself. Uh-huh. But we'll get to that. I've been thinking about something today, but I'll get there. So, um, we wake up after having seen that dream, all of us, because we confirmed it with each other. Did you have that dream too? What could that dream mean if we're all sharing it? And we wake up to uh, dire wolves and more knights surrounding us. And once again, the knights are from Lucifer's army. He's after us like no tomorrow. And at this point, my character doesn't even have the hilt anymore because she gave it to Bartholomew, who she was promised he could trust. Honestly, the only reason I let my character do that was because I know how Bartholomew is, so that might have been a little bit of metagaming on my part, because I have played a game with Bartholomew in it before, and even though he's kind of an asshole, he's a good asshole. He's not an asshole that would kill anyone to get what he wanted. He's an asshole, but he'll still protect those he cares about and those underneath him. He's an odd character. You had to be there to understand. I mean, if you want to watch the previous campaign where Bartholomew was born and my first ever campaign, that's on my channel to watch. You don't have to watch it, but you'll get some insight on Bartholomew and you'll see why I decided trusting him was okay. So we're like, wait, here's Lucifer's soldiers again. It can't be the hilt he's after this time because we don't even have it. We don't have it. And with two of us devoted to him, me now, and Keyleth devoted to him, you would think he'd be able to keep tabs on that. So we end up fighting like 4 dire wolves and 5 or 6 of these soldiers, surviving, but barely. And we end up meeting like this little bunny dude as we try to go back to sleep. And um, turns out he's not a bad guy, but Wilbur gets paranoid and attacks him despite knowing him personally and makes him leave. So we start on our way again because we're on a time crunch because the ball has a time limit. We only have so long before the ball happens. So we have to be in place or we're going to miss it. So we can't fuck around. So we're going down the path, and here come this stupid wizard and this little gnome. And they're not bad people. They're not bad people. They're just the kind of people that keep talking to the point where you're like, I'm gonna slowly back away now. This is not my problem. It's not like someone you know well that needs help. They're just talking to talk, and they argue like an old married couple. And they've been popping up here and there through our whole campaign. I don't know if they're like comic relief or not, but our characters are sick of him at this point because they keep showing up at random. We're on a time crunch. We don't have time to listen to Dumb and Dumber talk about their shit. So we're all like, okay, we're done with you guys. You need to leave. And they will not leave us alone. So my character gets pissy, and as well as others, we're all upset at them because they just won't stop. And we end up kind of being a little mean to them. Like, none of us hurt them or anything, we're just mean. And so they leave. Hopefully, period. Like, they leave, period. Because they did not fit the rest of the tone of the story. Like, they're funny, and I get where Nick was coming from doing it, but it was just like, one of these things does not fit. And it was definitely them. But then, as we're walking, we hear like boom, 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 these giant ass footsteps. And out from the forest comes like this huge, bulking tree monster. And I shit you not, Keyleth did a shit ton of damage. I did the most damage I think I've ever done in any game, like any actual game or any D&D session. Period. I did 64 damage to this thing total, and Keyleth did a fair chunk of damage to it too. So we're like, how much health does this fucking monster have? But before we can figure it out, one swipe, just just one swipe, all of us were down except for Sarathu, who survived by a shred of health with 3 health left. Like it was a total team KO in one swipe. And we're all like, did you just do that because we bullied the poor wizard and the gnome? Or was that a planned thing? And the DM was like, well, yeah, you were bullying the gnome and the wizard, but that no, that wasn't because of that. It was because he was trying to scale up, because Sarathu is a human fighter that has ice magic through his adopted father, the sun god, or the storm god, Bartholomew. So he can absolutely rock it with the damage. So he was trying to scale it up and then just ended up nearly killing all of us in the process, including my pet dragon. Just all 5 of us. But luckily for us, the Blood Witch did what she did to Sarathu, because Sarathu, bleeding, bloody, black blood everywhere, loses control of that ability and that power and his sickness, I guess. And just like the blood like flows through the creature's veins and just pops it from within. And none of our characters again see this because we're out cold dying on the floor. So his secret's still safe. So after that, we all end up in a coma for like, I think he said a month. So there goes our timeline to get to the fucking ball. We don't have a chance. We don't have a chance at getting there on time. But thankfully, we all wake up getting slapped in the face, and we wake up to Sarathu getting hit by Cassius, Keyleth getting hit by a dark elf woman who is revealed to be Juno, the daughter of Lucifer himself. Wilbur gets a centaur, the god Leon, who is the god of rhythm, and Yuki gets the happy surprise of her mom being the one to wake her up, to which she promptly pulls her into a bear hug and just hugs her. And that's when they tell us we've been asleep for a month and there's only 3 days left until the ball that we were meant to be at. So Juno portals us to a mountain peak where we all catch up, and my character Yuki and Cameron's character Bulbor end up sparring, where he absolutely kicks my character's ass. Don't piss off Turtle. But we end up sparring and then hanging out until the floating city comes. And the floating city is like the meeting place of the gods and where the ball is taking place. So it picks us up and we end up going to what we find out is Cassius's house. And the reason we find out it's Cassius's house is because there's a locked room that all of our other characters are like, we're not going to mess with that. This isn't our house. It's not our place. We're not here on a mission. We're not here by happenstance. We're not looking through somebody's house. Well, apparently, Sarathu didn't feel that way and decides, yeah, let's go lockpick the locked door. There must be something good in there. Bad idea. So he gets the door unlocked and um, opens the door, and it turns out to be a little girl's room. And before he can back out and shut the door, he's confronted by a woman who says, "What the hell are you doing in my daughter's room?" So nothing came of it at that point. Like he just walked away because she threatened him if he didn't, she was gonna hurt him. Until Cassius comes home and just out of nowhere just pounds the shit out of Sarathu. Wolbor tries to stop him. He punches Wolbor too. My character Yuki tries to stop him. She gets head butted in the damn head so hard she crashes to the ground. Like what the fuck? And Cassius is like, "How dare you go in my daughter's room? Don't you ever!" And that's when it clicked. That's what the dream was about. The dream was showing us Cassius's perspective of seeing his daughter get mauled to death by a dragon. And that's also why Cassius is so willing to help us take out the gods, because he has a vendetta against the god of dragons, Ares. So that was a fun revelation, albeit a sad one. So we spend a couple of days with Cassius. Nothing of event happens. He gives us our ball gown stuff. I think I went a little overboard picking mine out. I can show you what it looks like. Hold on, I can show you. But I went like whole overboard designing uh, this, like way overboard. Hold on, I can't find it. There it is. This is my outfit. It's like a dress that looks rosy, and then her hair, the makeup I chose. That's the ring, necklace, earrings, and like a circlet that you go on that goes on your head. The shoes, nails, and back to the dress. But that Fury Hound, who's sitting in the chat right now, was with me when wrong thing was with me when I accidentally got hyperfixated on making that outfit. So sorry about that again. Um, so after spending time in Cassius's home and being given the where is my YouTube chat? You were right there, right? Okay, you're up. But we go to the ball, and this was just yesterday. The ball just happened last night, which is why I stayed up until 4 a.m. and woke up at 8 a.m. I am tired. But but we go to the ball. Hello, random stuff I guess. You pop in and out of my streams on occasion. You are here so random, but I remember your name because it's so random. Hi, I'm talking about my D&D campaign. You're kind of at the tail end of it, but welcome in if you like D&D. So we get to the ball, and everyone is mingling. All the gods and goddesses are there. Um, Everyone looks like they're having a good time, despite the fact that battle lines are literally being drawn between the gods at the moment. Everybody, this music does not feel like the vibe for what I'm talking about at all. Hold up. But, um, so at the ball, Yuki is told by Cassius that to look around the room and take in what she sees. And what she sees are Black Rose tattoos everywhere. Like Black Rose soldiers, Black Rose members everywhere. So she's like, oh, we have more backup than I thought. Because she's not aligned with Lucifer or any of the gods. She wants Lucifer deader than a doornail because of what he did to her mom, or her dad, and her mom. She was part of the attack. So he tells her, I'm going to give you a signal. And when I give you the signal, that's your move to go for Lucifer with the sword. And so we all mingle, everybody dances. Um, Juno and Yuki, my character, end up dancing as friends, where the guys go and do their own thing, except for Seraphu, who never dances. He just goes up on the balcony to watch the proceedings. And all of a sudden, Cassius gets up on the gods' table and starts kicking food all over them and like dancing around on the table and just pulls out a black sword, which has been used to kill a god before, and just decapitates Ares, the god of dragons, like in front of the entire ball. So pandemonium breaks out. And my character's like, that must be my cue. She takes out Lucifer's sword hilt, ignites the fire in it, which now in her wielding is purple, which is weird because kind of fitting with the whole black rose stick. Did not do that on purpose. I just like purple. But anyway, she goes for Lucifer, and her head's feeling a bit weird, but she just attributed it to nerves or panic or adrenaline. And she goes for Lucifer and drives the sword into his back, right through his heart. Damn it, Nick, for this. Damn the DM for this. It wasn't Lucifer she stabbed. It turns out, at the last second, before she had any choice to stop, Cassius, having killed the one that was responsible for his daughter's death, wanted to join her in death. So he used Yuki attacking Lucifer as his way to do that. So he jumped in front of her blade, taking the death blow himself. And as he's dying and she's trying to heal him, all he says is, now I can be with her again. Oh, like, damn, Nick. But, oh, like, our characters were with this character for so long, and to have one of them be tricked into killing him like that. Someone who has already seen a lot of death. She's watched her dad be killed right in front of her. She watched a helpless woman get murdered because she wasn't strong enough to fight back against the ones trying to do it. And then, after seeing two people die in front of her and thinking her mom was dead, she is tricked into being the killer of someone who has been with them for almost a year. Almost a year. So, ugh. So she's in shock at this point. She's like, how did that how did that happen? Yeah, self unalived by a friend. No kidding. Not fair, by the way. But it was rough. And so Juno, Lucifer's daughter, and um, Cassius's wife is like, step away from him. Like literally sword to Yuki's throat. Like, get away from him. Just let him go. Just let him die. Because I was trying to heal him. Because my character has the ability to do that. She can bring the dead back as long as it's within a certain time limit. But she was going to do that, but the wife stopped her. He's like, nah, just let him die. And I'm like, so she's yanked away from everything. Um, Wulbor and Keyleth end up fighting some paladins to get out of there because it was the city of paladins, and fleeing through the portal along with me, Cassius's wife, and Lucifer's daughter, end up fleeing through the portal, and Josh's character Sarathu follows with his dad, the storm god Bartholomew. And when we think we're safe, when we're outside the portal and the portal's closed, Sarathu's like, um, Sarathu's like, we can't grieve right now. We have to go. We have to make sure we're safe. Yuki's just catatonic in the background because she's in shock at what she just did. She just killed a mentor, a teammate, and a friend, and someone she looked up to and trusted. And with everything going on, it's been hard for her to trust anyone. And with the fact that she has been bullied her whole life because not only is she considered a heretic because she didn't follow any of the gods, but her parents were both teachers at the school, so that led to a certain amount of bullying. So it's very hard for her to trust to begin with. And then you got people killing her dad, not knowing if her mom's alive until that point, um, and watching innocent people get burned alive in front of her. It makes it hard to trust people. So for her to lose Cassius, someone she trusted fully, was even that much more of a shock. But Keyleth's over there in the background fine because he's psychotic. He's been burning bunnies. He's been setting fire to things. Like, he's purely Lucifer's follower. He's insane. He sees no problem with what happened. Juno and Cassius's mom are crying to their side. Yuki's catatonic, and Wulbor's just kind of there. He doesn't seem to have any reaction. But Sarathu tries to push us and be like, we can't grieve right now. We have to step it up. We have to compartmentalize what happened and get the fuck up and keep moving. And even Bartholomew, his own dad, is like, what are we running from? What are you afraid of? It's already done. It's already done. But he's not listening. He's going into like combat commander mode and like, you gotta go. And that's when Lucifer shows up. Just fucking poof! Poof! There he is! Uh-oh. So Lucifer's like, thought you could get away? Mm-hmm. That's where you're wrong. And my character again tries to attack him, but he just kind of, and like she's nothing, stops her. And he tells us that he wants us to go to the realm of the dragons to get the dragons on board for being part of his army. And of course, my character's like, go to hell. Go to hell. Why would I ever help you? You are responsible for all of this. All of it. You're responsible for every death that has happened since the attack on the school, and maybe many before that. Why would we ever help you? And he says, say that again. I said, you heard me. Go to hell. And at this point, we're all trapped. He used his power on even another god, Bartholomew, and forced us to bow to him. And we were stuck there, helpless. And he goes, tell you what, brings Yuki, my character's mom, to him and said, you can do this for me, or she dies. You can do this for me, or I'll kill her. And my character's like, just don't do that. You've taken enough from me already. Just please don't kill her. I'll try to help the dragons. Fucking join your army. Just don't hurt her. And Wulbor ends up getting one of his friends in the mix, who apparently Lucifer already had captive because he had seen um, he he was like, "Oh, that was you in the dream," because Wilbur had had a previous dream of seeing her in the cage. Although a lot of our dreams end up becoming a real thing. So he then, I've been talking for an hour and 4 minutes. Goodness, I'm not even done yet. So he then, okay, have fun, have a good night. He then, and then Sarathu was threatened with Bartholomew's life because he's his adopted dad. The only one of us that wasn't threatened was Keyleth because Keyleth is a Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, I've heard of the ending. It's been spoiled for me, unfortunately. But I am gonna game. I just didn't feel like gaming today. I really didn't. I couldn't decide between two games. Plus, I really wasn't in the mood to game. I was really tired because I stayed up till almost 5 in the morning, only to get up at 8 last night. So I was just like, I'm gonna do a just chatting stream. Plus, I want to talk about D&D anyway because I don't really have anyone in my life outside of the people I play with that like D&D, so I don't really have anyone to talk to about it. And Fury Hound, you don't count because you already know everything because you're a lurker in our group. But but after that, Lucifer brands each one of the hostages that he took, leaving them with his burnt handprint on their neck. And I and then that was where we left the session. Just the bleakness of our characters unable to do anything. And before Lucifer leaves, he takes the hilt from Yuki, so she couldn't even protect that and keep that from him. And that's where we're left hanging, and we still don't know when we're going to be playing again next because we haven't decided because we just played yesterday, last night. But oh my goodness, the way Nick is pulling this campaign, it's crazy. Like, there are so many mysteries. Like, for one, how the hell did Yuki's dad end up with the sword in the first place? Why would Lucifer let something that important go in the hands of a teacher? Somebody had to help him. Who killed time because it wasn't the Black Rose Knights? Because his body was still there, and when the Black Rose swords kill someone, their body disappears too, because it gets absorbed into the sword. Oh, I should like to talk shop. Oh, I know. But, wow, that took a while to send. Sometimes it does. It's like YouTube puts a restriction on you if you chat too much. Or it might just be your Wi-Fi slow. It might just be that. But, I just, at this point, I'm like, I don't know what is going to happen next. Other than we need to go to the dragons. I think I was debating this with myself this morning when I was reorganizing my notes because they were a mess. Um, I'm probably driving Nick nuts with all the Discord blinging notifications because that's where we take our notes at. He's probably like, "Stop messing with your notes, damn it! You're blinging me like crazy." Sorry, I need to fix these. No, he's chill about it. I'm just joking. But but uh, I think the best course of action for Yuki would be to join the Black Rose. I mean, the vampire queen that she thought she killed ended up very much alive at the ball and was a member of the Black Rose. Although I do not know for the life of me how in the hell she managed to survive burning to ash. Your guess is as good as mine. I plan to ask her if I ever see her again. But In terms of how the hell she's alive, couldn't tell you. But I think the best course of action for Yuki is to join the Black Rose because she doesn't like the gods anyway. At this point, at least not all of them. She wants Lucifer dead. She wants to kill Lucifer. She doesn't have the hilt anymore. Lucifer has it again. So it's kind of pointless for her to stay devoted to him because the only reason she devoted herself to a god she hated was because she already had the sword thanks to her dad, and she wanted to be able to better access that power to use it against him, like kind of being stabbed with your own sword scenario. She wanted to pull that move with Lucifer. Excuse me. But I don't think that that's going to work anymore because Lucifer has the hilt back. So that's not a viable option for her. And on top of that, she needs to find someone that can cure vampirism because she was bitten by a vampire queen and she was confirmed to have venom running in her system by Wilbur, who has the ability to see into people's spirits. So my window for that's kind of shrinking as we go. But I have no idea at this point. I have no idea. At this point, I'm like, my dad is probably involved in this in more ways than he's telling. Like my character's dad. Because there's no way a doting, bumbling, goofy man like him, like my character's dad, who loves nature, loves creatures, loves dragons, is capable of that, is capable of stabbing someone in the back to get their weapon, and capable of dragging his daughter and her friends into this. So I'm like, could her dad be the one that got Time's essence? Because uh, unless the dragons managed to take Lucifer's sword and somehow, some reason, the dragons gave it to my dad because he does study dragons for dragonology, I don't know. I'm like, what's going on with Sarathu's sickness? Why does Lucifer have someone Wilbur knows held captive? Keyleth already got his napalm. Oh no. He's already set enough stuff on fire without napalm and now he has it. Oh boy. Um, and Sarathu, or yeah, I it's all up in the air. And the answers are probably right in our face and we just don't see it because we don't know how to put the information together. And why would Juno save my mom? And why is Juno even helping us when she's the daughter of Lucifer? And how did the Black Rose get the swords? My character doesn't know this, but are the swords made the same way through that black blood that Sarathu had? Is that what the swords are? Because if that's what the swords are, we already have a weapon to help kill the gods. A weapon that has been proven to be effective to do that. But we don't know if that's what the Black Rose soldiers are wielding. We can only hope. Like, we don't want all the gods dead. We just want to stop Lucifer to fix all this. And we have no idea how to do that. We're just fumbling in the dark. And it's wild. It is so much fun. There's so much to theorize about. There's so much that could happen, yet we have no idea what's going to happen. There's so many opportunities for our characters and so many failings for our characters. And I feel like Nick is a very good DM. For this being his first ever time DMing, his story is very intriguing, and not only is his story intriguing, but he's building it from the ground up. Like he gave us like a little prequel book, like talking about like before the story with the gods and their connections, and then rolled with that. And I'm like, okay, at the end of that book, someone showed up at the table of 13, 14 at the table of gods with time's power. Who was that and how? You know, I'm so excited to find out what happens. I'm like, I want to play already again, and we just played yesterday, but I'm like, damn it, you can't leave us there. You can't leave us at such a bleak spot. But of course he did. But honestly, if you want me to be honest, this feels like a real first campaign. Like, I liked the other campaign I did until we hit season 2 and like everything crumbled. I know everybody tried and tried their best, but it just kind of petered out. Like, we had so much good character growth, and then some of our team left. Some of them got uninvited because they were being inappropriate or creepy and just a general nuisance to the group. And it was just a whole mess. And it just fell apart. And this one so far, I like the group I'm playing with. I already knew that I liked how Josh played because he played. I'm blanking on it again. Not Cameron. That's one of the players. He played. What the fuck? Bartholomew? Clarion. He played Clarion in my first ever campaign. And he's very much like a mix between Clarion and Bartholomew, which is played well because he's he's been raised with Clarion because Clarion and Bartholomew are best friends despite being polar opposites in behavior, and he's been adopted by Bartholomew. So it makes sense that he's kind of a good mix between the two because those are the people he spent his life with. And um, Wilbur is a turtle or tortoise paladin who is kind of and slow in his thinking too. And it fits the character well. Like, he doesn't play it bad, and he's strong. And and um and Sarathu is definitely a damage dealer. He can do a lot of damage. You don't want to fight with him. And then there's Keyleth, who is a devoted follower to Lucifer and willingly does what he wants. So that's gonna be a fun time. That's been a fun dynamic. You have one person that hates Lucifer and another person that loves him. So it's like, not to mention, he's also racist towards everybody, including other elves, because he's a dark elf. So it's like, what? And like, you would think it would get annoying, but Jason plays it well, and it works. And it's kind of funny that he constantly says things to get under Yuki's skin because Yuki is devoted to Lucifer, yes, but devotion is used lightly because the only reason she's following Lucifer is to use his power since she already has his weapon. And she wants that power to kill Lucifer, not to help him in any way. So every time she does something that interests uh, him, Keyleth's like, you did a good job. And she's like, say one more word, I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm just gonna pop. But oh, it's so much fun. I like how everyone's playing it. I love how the DM is writing everything out. And it's so much fun. And man, that campaign last night still hurts. Poor Cassius. Ah, damn. And the sword is once again out of her hands. Just as she just got it back from the ball, it's gone again. And now it's in the one person's hand she never wanted it to be in again. Back with Lucifer. So we might be in trouble because we have 3 people that each of us care about being held hostage. And we have to either go to the dragons and do as Lucifer says, or sacrifice them for the good of everybody else. And I don't know. I've tried and tried and tried to theorize both by myself and with the other players as to what happens. And every time we ask even a slight hint from the DM, he goes, I don't know, play and find out. Play and find out. Play and find out. At this point, he needs a shirt that says, I don't know, play and find out, written over it with a D20 in the middle, because that is literally his saying anytime any of us ask any questions. Unless it's like, hey, am I allowed to do this with my character? Then he'll give us an answer. But if it's anything lore wise, he's like, play and find out. Like, just one hint. Just one damn hint. Please, just one. I want to know something. But it's so much fun. It is so much fun. And I feel like the group. This blanket's driving me crazy. Hold on. This arm, one for the little that I took too far. The rental car, the doodles that undo. Sorry, I'm listening to music in the background. But, oh, it's so much fun. At this point, I think my character's best option is to join the Black Rose. She doesn't have the sword anymore, which was the whole point she wanted access to Lucifer's power in the first place, was because she could actually make use of the blade that she had, because it was a pure fire blade. I can actually show you a picture of it, because I do have a picture. Let me find it. This hard one for the joke that I took too far. One for the night in the rental car, the doodles and undo. One for the two that I let them dim. Where did it go? Uh-huh. I think I lost it. Hold on. It's here. I just fixed my notes. I just fixed my notes. Where did it go? This is what Lucifer looks like, by the way. That's what he looks like. That's Lucifer. So, I can also show you what Cassius looks like. Give me a second. Scrolling. Here's the knights with the black sword. Here's the knights with the black sword. The god-killing weapon. Oh. The doodles I done do. Did I accidentally take the... What in the world happened to that image? There it is. It was there, it just wasn't showing up for some reason. That's the hilt, and that's the it when it ignites. This bit comes out. But yeah. So she doesn't have the hilt anymore. She doesn't have Lucifer's sword, so she really doesn't need his powers because it didn't work anyway. So she needs another avenue. And there was so far she's been given a black rose from they met a tiefling at one point, a tiefling bard, and while she stayed in the inn, he left a black rose for her on her bedside table. Then the queen of the vampires, who she thought she killed but showed up at the ball very much alive, was also a member of the Black Rose, and she was very intrigued by Yuki and liked her style, so she said, and wanted her to join her. So that's two. And then you got Cassius, that was a member of the Black Rose, although we didn't find that out till the last second when he pulled the sword out to kill the god of dragons. But he was on her side, trying to their side, coaching her on how to use the sword and stop Lucifer. So maybe my character's best option is to join the Black Rose. I just had a thought for the character, and now I'm even more upset again. What? You had a thought for a character? This is my character and her dragon. That's Celeste, and there's my lion form that she most shifts into. Let's see. There's the tiefling that gave her the Black Rose. Vampire Necromancer slash Anger. That would be cool. Excuse me. Um, here's Bartholomew. Here's Bartholomew. Cranky Birdman. He's an Aarakocra. There's the vampire lady in her cloak. This is what Yuki's fire looks like after the attack by the vampires when she lost control. I already showed you the ball clothes. Here was the monster that nearly killed us all in one hit. That big ass thing. That's what nearly took out our entire team with one blow. The only one of us that survived with 3 hit points left. 3. That thing hits hard. It looks cuddly and cute, but you don't go near it. Here was the floating city. I should have been showing these as I talked about it, but that's a floating city where the ball was held. Carry me home. Spend all of the love I saved. Now where did the picture of Cassius go? In a big arcade, I got addicted to a losing game. I don't know what Discord's doing right now, but it's being dumb. It's hiding my pictures from me. Loving you is a losing game. Maybe if I go to maps. You love me not. Here it is. Found it in general. There's Cassius. Rest in peace. He was a good character. Very piratish. I did not think I would be able to fill a stream full of just chatting, but I don't really have anyone to talk about D&D with outside of the people I play with. So I'm like, I get to talk about it today. I get to talk about it. And you can either stay or not. That's up to you. But I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. I cannot wait for the next session. Like, I want to see where these characters are going to go next. I want to see what the plan is now that the original plan failed. Can my character be cured of vampirism? What's gonna happen? What does joining the Black Rose entail? I know the DM's not gonna tell me a damn thing, and I am a-okay with that, so I'm not even gonna bother asking him, because I'll just get play and find out, which I am a-okay with. Want to know something super fun about necromancers? What, they can bring people back from the dead and manipulate the body like puppets? Sans Naruto? God, I sound like such a nerd. Sound like such a nerd. You know what? I'll be a nerd. It's fine with me. Hmm? I'm in a bad time. You just crossed the line. You want to get wild? Okay, I'll show you wild. Sorry, I love that movie. But yeah, that's my adventures with D&D. I love it. I love everybody's characters. They're playing them all so well. I like the people I'm playing with. They're so much fun. Even though sometimes before we start a campaign, things get really weird, but it's just fun to laugh about because they're all goofy. There are very few enemies that are not vulnerable to necrotic energies because necrotic damage is anti-life. What about the undead? Are they resistant to it? I'd imagine they would be. But again, I mean, vampires and stuff can still die. So I don't know, maybe not. Something about how you come for the crown is so humbling. Ha! What? Sorry, I'm listening to music in the background and I really like this song. I really like this movie, to be honest. If you haven't seen K-pop Demon Hunters, it's a watch. Although I am glad that I found this movie myself before all the internet hype for it because it's been spoiled at the wazoo because I looked up one song from it. I just got Demon Hunter everything and I'm like, whoa, whoa, slow down. I just wanted to listen to one song. But I found the movie myself because it was playing trailers on TV and on YouTube. So I was like, I'm just gonna watch this because it looks like fun, and they fucking nailed it with the soundtrack. They absolutely nailed it. Like the art style of the movie, the soundtrack, the characters, even the ones that are the villains. It's so much fun. Like I went into it expecting to think, oh, that was cheesy and dumb, but still fun. I did not expect to love it by any means, and I absolutely love it. Is it is it the most groundbreaking story ever? No. The main message is love yourself and your scars because they're a part of you. How many times has that story been told? A lot, but it works for a reason, and it's a good story. My favorite song from the movie is probably Free because that hits at a spot in my life now. But yeah, I like the movie. I don't know how we went from D&D to K-pop Demon Hunters, but here we are. Welcome to my stream. Welcome in. But yeah, mm, I cannot wait to see what the DM has in store for our characters next because it's been a hell of a ride. I mean, our whole team literally almost died in one hit at the same time already. My character's already died once. Well, twice now, because she's squishy. She's a squishy elf druid. But I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so excited. But I think I'm gonna go. I know this has been shorter than usual, but I'm not really one to talk much, so I didn't think I'd get this far. And I guess, like I said, I wanted someone to talk D&D with, and I don't really have anyone outside of the people I play with that play D&D, and they already know everything that happens. So don't really have anyone to talk to. So thank you for letting me talk your ear off for damn near 2 hours. But I'm gonna go. I'm not exactly sure what game I'm gonna play next week. I'm in the middle of playing both Tomb Raider the originals and Mass Effect. and I kind of want to play both. Maybe I don't hate Tomb Raider as much as I think I do. It just really frustrates the shit out of me because I keep wanting to come back to it. Whether that's my stubborn want to finish the game or I'm actually enjoying it somewhat, it really frustrates me. I don't know. But I don't know yet if I'm going to play a Mass Effect next week or Tomb Raider. But I really want to play both. And that was part of the reason I decided to do a just chatting stream today, was because I'm like, I'm tired. I don't feel like gaming. I don't know which of the two games I even want to play today. So here we are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, even though I don't do just chatting streams very often. And if you did, thanks for being here and watching me talk your ear off. I hope to see you next time. Bye.